Let me tell you a story that might feel uncomfortably familiar. Someone spends 3 years saving $20,000. They skip vacations, drive the old car, say no to dinners, say no to upgrades, say no to treat yourself. Finally, they hit $20,000. They feel responsible, mature, in control. 6 months later, $3,000 left. And they're staring at their bank app wondering, how did this happen? Here's the truth. Saving the first $20,000 is not the hardest part. The hardest part is the 2 weeks after you hit it, because that's when your brain changes. Before, you were chasing safety. Now, you feel successful. And success is dangerous. Your brain starts whispering, you deserve something nicer. You've been disciplined long enough. You're not broke anymore. That whisper, that's the moment that determines whether you retire wealthy or work until 70. And today, we're going to break down exactly what to do and what not to do in that moment. Before investing $1, we need to talk about debt, specifically high-interest debt. Credit cards at 19%, store cards at 25%, personal loans at 14%, buy now, pay later balances stacking up. If you have $10,000 sitting on a credit card at 22% interest and you invest $10,000 hoping to earn 8 to 10%, you are mathematically choosing to lose money. Let's simplify it. If you pay off that 22% card, you just earned a guaranteed 22% return. No stock market risk, no volatility, no guessing. Guaranteed. Meanwhile, the stock market might give you 10% on average over decades. Might. You're paying 22% to maybe earn 10%. That's not investing. That's financial self-sabotage. Rule: anything above 6 to 7% interest gets eliminated first. Because interest compounds, and compounding can either work for you or against you. High-interest debt is negative compounding. It grows quietly, aggressively, relentlessly. Eliminate it. Then we build. Now let's assume no bad debt. You're clean. Most people now jump straight into investing. That's a mistake, because there's something less exciting but more important: the emergency fund. I know, it's boring. It doesn't grow fast, it doesn't feel productive, but without it, one bad month can reset years of progress. If you're single with stable employment, 3 months of essential expenses. Mortgage, kids, self-employed, commission-based income, 6 months minimum. Why? Because life does not care about your portfolio. Your car breaks, your roof leaks, your company downsizes, medical bill hits, family emergency. Without cash reserves, you'll sell investments at a loss, swipe the credit card, or panic. And financial panic destroys wealth. An emergency fund doesn't make you rich, it prevents you from going backwards. Put it in a high-yield savings account. Safe, liquid, accessible. Boring money is strong money. Now we build. You've got $8,000 to $12,000 ready to deploy. This is where the future changes. If you're in the US, max out a Roth IRA. Tax-free growth forever. If you're in Europe, use your country's tax-advantaged accounts. ISA in the UK, PEA in France, retirement investment accounts in Germany or your local equivalent. Taxes quietly destroy returns. Tax efficiency quietly builds wealth. Now comes the most important question. What do you buy? This is where people mess up. They start researching individual stocks, watching financial TikTok, reading Reddit threads. Stop. You don't need to find the next Apple. Buy the market. Low-cost S&P 500 ETF, total market index fund, broad European or global ETF. Expense ratio under 0.10%. That's it. When you buy the index, you're not picking companies, you're buying the productivity of entire economies. Over long periods, the US market has averaged about 10%, developed markets slightly lower, but strong long-term. Now let's look at math. $20,000 invested at 10% for 30 years, roughly $350,000. Do nothing, just let time work. Now add $500 per month. Over 30 years, over $1.5 million. That's not hype, that's compounding, and compounding is the most underappreciated force in personal finance. Here's something painful. If you invest $20,000 at 25, by 55, you might have around $350,000. Wait until 30? Now maybe $215,000. That 5-year delay costs over $130,000. And here's what's crazy. It doesn't feel expensive to wait. It feels harmless. But delay is expensive because time matters more than amount. A 25-year-old investing modestly beats a 40-year-old investing aggressively. Time multiplies effort. Without time, effort struggles. Every year you wait, you're shrinking the future version of you. Now we get to the real enemy, lifestyle inflation. You hit $20,000. You feel successful. Suddenly, the car feels old. The apartment feels small. The vacations feel overdue. You upgrade. $450 car payment, $500 more in rent, $300 in subscriptions, $6,000 vacation. Individually seems manageable. Collectively, you just redirected hundreds of thousands of future dollars. That extra $500 per month invested at 10% for 30 years? Close to $1 million. Read that again. One lifestyle upgrade, one decision could cost you nearly $1 million in retirement wealth. And here's the worst part. 3 months later, the new car feels normal. The bigger apartment feels average. The dopamine fades, but the lost compounding never comes back. Wealth isn't destroyed by emergencies. It's destroyed by upgrades. Now let's talk about another mistake, trying to time the market. People say, the market is at all-time highs. I'll wait for a crash. Here's the problem. The market spends most of its time near all-time highs because, over decades, it trends upward. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll spend years waiting. Studies have shown that missing just a handful of the market's best days dramatically reduces returns. And those best days often happen right after the worst days, when fear is highest. The people who build wealth don't predict, they participate. They automate, they invest monthly, they ignore noise, they ignore headlines. Consistency beats cleverness, every time. There are only 2 paths after $20,000. Path 1, you feel successful, you upgrade, you celebrate, you reset to zero. Path 2, you stay boring, you automate investing, you ignore noise, you let compounding work. The wealthy aren't smarter, they're more patient. They don't chase trends, they don't panic in crashes, they don't upgrade every time income rises. They do something simple, over and over, for decades. And that's the secret no one wants to hear. Wealth is built by people who are willing to be boring for a very long time. So if you've hit $20,000, understand this, you're not at the finish line, you're at a fork in the road. Choose wisely, because the next 2 weeks could determine the next 30 years.